Well, howdy, y'all. I'm gonna be Canadian, eh?
What is this all about, eh?
Well, I am Billy King, one of the 50,000 Americans to cross the border to Canada. You see, I'm trying to avoid performing compulsory military service into the Vietnam War because I am opposed to it. I want to gain conscientious objector status, which I will hear is difficult to obtain since it allows for people to forego military service based on a deep moral or religious belief in exchange for a fixed term of community service.
Well, welcome, Billy. According to Immigration Canada, the majority of draft dodgers tend to be urban, well-educated, middle-class men.
That's it.
You will do well in our diverse country.
Well, thanks, friend. I plan to help this country become a great one and to work hard to contribute to society.
Sounds like a plan to me, eh?
Well, hello there, conscription officer.
Hello.
I'm a Canadian and I'm willing to fight under the U.S. Army in Vietnam.
Howdy, you're Canadian number 30,000. May I ask why you choose to do so?
Because I believe in fighting communism to make the world a better place.
Well, sign on up, partner. Here's your U.S. Social Security number.
Thanks.
Vive le Québec libre! Vive le Québec libre! Vive le Québec libre! We are the FLQ. We are a separatist group. We want to free Quebec. We will do whatever it takes to libre Quebec.
Freeze! Come with us.
We have James Cross on our hands. If you want him back, we must receive a ransom of $5,000. Transportation to Cuba. Read FLQ manifesto in public and have FLQ political prisoners released. Or else, James Cross will not be the last one kidnapped.
Stop! Get on your knees.
You can't kidnap me. I'm the Vice Premier and Minister of Labor.
Dear citizens, the recent FLQ kidnapping was one of the first of its kind in Canada. After Pierre Laporte's dead body was discovered on October 17th, the government has decided to put an end to this madness. We want to keep the situation peaceful and under control. Therefore, some terrorists will be imprisoned, while others will just receive light sentences. The FLQ manifesto will be broadcasted over the radio, and 5 FLQ terrorists will be transported to Cuba. In return, Cross will be released. I have decided to invoke the War Measures Act, which will give the government power to take civil rights away from those in question. Membership in the FLQ will be criminal, and political rallies will no longer exist. I believe there was a widespread conspiracy to overthrow the government.
Mr. Trudeau, how far are you willing to go in terms of restrictions with the War Measures Act?
Just watch me.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Canada. May I please have your travel documents?
Hi, I'd like to immigrate to Canada. I'm seeking improved living conditions, and Canada seems like the perfect place for me to reside.
Let me just review your documents. I see that you're a 20-year-old female and that your mother is a Canadian citizen. Because of that new Citizenship Act of 1976, you will be permitted into Canada and to be allowed to be a citizen. Before this act was passed, you would more likely be granted citizenship if you were male or your father had been a Canadian citizen. You speak English as well, so therefore there should be no difficulties. Please continue down the hall, where another officer will speak with you in regards of your citizenship. Next, immigrant, please.
Hello, I'm a refugee from Vietnam and I would love to immigrate to Canada.
As of the new Immigration Act of 1978, provinces have a greater role in immigration, and you must fit into one of these three categories: family class, refugees, and independents. You fit into the refugee category, so welcome to Canada.
Thank you!
Welcome to another National Action Committee on the Status of Women meeting. We are well on our way to strengthening women's rights movements.
Yes, I agree. The report the Trudeau government implemented about the problems facing women in Canada seems very prospective.
Yes, in fact, they have passed a new maternity law. Now we can leave our jobs without fear of unemployment.
Oh yeah, and I heard that the government is talking about making a legislation giving women equal pay for equal work, just like men.
Well done, ladies. Well, ladies, 3 years has passed, and I want to congratulate you on all the hard work you've put into this movement. We have upped women's employment by 48%. Now we have to work on getting women in higher positions, such as lawyers or doctors.
Good morning, listeners! It is April 12th, 1978, and what a lovely morning it is. Hold up, folks! This just in. Trudeau, after a year ago passing a law mandating equal pay for women, has just set up a Human Rights Commission to bring an end to all discrimination in Canada. He has also announced subsidized daycare and child tax credit will be more readily available.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard to handle, but like a flame that burns a candle.
Change. Listen, most of these radio stations broadcast American music. What's happening with all the Canadian entertainment industry? The Americans are like taking over.
Don't worry, this won't go on for too long. Soon, Trudeau will introduce a plan to ensure that all radios play a certain percentage of Canadian programs, and he even wants to promote the film and television industries. He's going to introduce tax breaks for Canadian books and magazine industries as well.
That's good, I suppose. Since the advancements in technology have caused Americans to invest in Canada, we must be cautious that our businesses don't get wiped out.
Speaking of Canadian businesses, look what I just bought from this Canadian store down the road. A new Walkman. I can't believe it's so small.
So compact.
So many.
I've never seen anything like it. Maybe one day, a gazillion years from now, they'll invent something that has a touch screen.
Don't be silly.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised actually. Technology has been advancing rapidly. There's been so many new inventions that make life so much more convenient. The word processor, the email, cell phones, video cameras, VCRs, so on, everything.
Better savor this bread. I paid so much for it. Inflation's really making a dent in my pocket.
What are you talking about? Inflation is usually only a 2 to 4% increase per year.
No, didn't you realize the price of goods has increased by 10% since last year?
Yeah, but at least your wages went up with inflation.
I have a fixed income, so inflation affects me greatly. I can barely afford to buy the goods I want. But I'm starting to hate this Trudeau guy.
I don't think we can only blame inflation for the increase of prices of goods. The price of oil significantly increased in the past few years, so this affects the prices of everything. It all started when OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, realized that the demand for oil was higher than the supply. They spiked up the prices knowing that people would continue to pay.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The OPEC crisis has contributed to the general rise in the price of goods. Because the price of oil went up from $6 to $16, then to $40 during the war between Iraq and Iran. My friends, the police officers, healthcare workers, and teachers decided to form unions to demand higher wages in order to sustain themselves. Too bad I have a fixed income though.
That's okay. Trudeau just introduced the National Energy Program, which freezes Albertan oil prices. This will keep the prices of oil down for everyone.
I don't think the Albertans will be so happy. If I were them, I want to have a fair share of value for my oil by selling it to foreign countries. But no, Trudeau has to freeze the oil prices, and I don't even think the tariffs on oil sold to the U.S. will make up for the oil imported from the OPEC countries.
Nice car you got here.
Well, thanks. I just got it the other day.
Where from?
The American car dealership just down the street.
American? Just a few years ago, American car companies began expanding to Canada as a result of the Auto Pact. Doesn't the growing American influence in Canada concern you?
Sort of. But Trudeau just established the Foreign Investment Review Agency to screen out new foreign companies. So this will reduce the massive U.S. investment in the Canadian economy. This way, Canadian industries are still protected. Trudeau has done this in spite of the growing Canadian-American tensions.
Well, it's their fault coming to our country to sell their goods and taking money back to the States. No wonder we Canadians are so upset.
Trudeau that.